Hi, everybody. Just finding my notes. I have tons of notes. Really excited. I love this book. I'm going to be talking about Radical Remission by Kelly Turner. Love this book. I have about 10 pages of notes, so it might get a little long today. Normally it's not this long. Just information we haven't talked about before, so I'm excited about it. And a lot of the things in this book that we talked about can be gotten through. Hi, Tracy. Thanks for joining. A lot of the things that in this book we can get through the TAT stuff. We can get through support from others. It's not a lot of things that you're probably, it's probably a lot of things you're doing already. But I like to focus and say, okay, this is going to help me. This is going to help me. So it's good to hear it again and get validated, right? So Radical Remission is all about, she is a PhD. She decided that nobody was giving attention to the people that suddenly got better, right? We don't study those people. We study the people that take the meds in big groups, and we don't study those outliers that all of a sudden we're one minute we're stage 4 and the next minute they're not, they're healthy. So she decided she was going to study those people, and I'm glad she did, because there's so much information in here. I love it. So my stage 4 girls, if you're out there, this is I want you to buy this book. I do. And I'll give you a lot of information, but there's more in there. I'm not going to talk about the research. Everything that she says is research based, but if I gave you all the research information, this would be like, a 2-hour video. So I'm just going to talk about what she talked about, let you know ahead of time, it's all research based. And then if she puts something in the book, it's not just anecdotal, like where, it worked for one person. She finds where there is actual research where it worked. So she decided that she was interviewing thousands of people, hundreds of people that had radical remissions. And a radical remission is a statistically unexpected remission. So it's considered rare, even though she's met so many people. She continued to interview people even after the book. Thousands of people have experienced it. So if they can do it, we can do it, right? Which I love. A lot of them did chemo, radiation, and it didn't work for them. And then they were told there was nothing else they could do. So they didn't take that answer, right? They went and researched like we do anyway. I did chemo, surgery, radiation, and now I'm going to do hormone stuff. And I'm still doing all this. I'm going to do everything, right? I know you guys feel that way too. So the 9 factors that she found in all of them were 1, radically changing diet, 2, taking control of your health. I'm going to stare at my notes and not at the camera. 3, following your intuition. 4, herbs and supplements. 5, releasing suppressed emotions. We do that with TAT. Yes. Increasing positive emotions. We do that with TAT. Embracing social support, deepening your spiritual connection. That's 8. And 9, having strong reasons for living. So she said these are not in any type of order. Good thing, because I said the numbers on some of them and not on others. But they're not listed in order of importance. There's no clear winner. She found some people did some and some people did others. The key is that it's not just diet. It's not just taking control of your health. You mix more than one of these together and things work. And that was a key. That was what the Mix of 6 book said as well. It wasn't just doing one of the 6. It was doing multiple things and having them synergistically work together. So this book says it too. There's some things in this book that were not in the other books. The food stuff is not new. So far, every book I've read, vegan wins. So vegan wins again. So she says no sweets, no meat, no dairy, no refined foods. Increase your veggies and fruit. Drink filtered water. Did I say no dairy? Due to hormones and chemicals and omega-6 fats. So she talks about how the cancer consumes sugar and why we shouldn't do sugar, which we've all heard. That's how the PET scans show up the sugar, right? They put glucose in us, and then it goes right to the cancer cells. No processed foods. She also talked about, which I haven't talked about before. She talked about blood sugar and insulin levels. So one of the other reasons she doesn't want us to do sugar or any processed foods or like the white carbs is that you need to keep your blood sugar level. If you've ever studied the paleo diet, that's one of the things they talk about too, is health comes from keeping that blood sugar and insulin levels low and stable. So if you're going to eat carbs, which we all need carbs or we get too hungry, she wants us to have sprouted grain, brown rice, all the carbs in the whole form. And she mentions the healing power of fruits and veggies. A lot of studies are now starting up and newer studies are coming out where different foods fight cancer. So the more we eat, the better. And you've all heard eat the rainbow. So that's good. Eat your fruits and vegetables. She doesn't demonize fruits at all. The fruits have a lot of stuff in them we need. One thing she talked about, and I actually did this during chemo, is fasting. There's lots of research right now. If you're doing chemo, it has to be a personal choice because I did 2 different types of chemo. I did TCHP for 5, and I did not know about fasting. And then on the 3rd one, my acupuncturist was like, "Oh, you should be fasting." And I was like, "Thanks, Denise. Yeah, we missed those first 2 because I had a lot of side effects, and the fasting was a game changer. It was like all of a sudden, my mouth wasn't so bad. All the symptoms were kind of still there, but just way less with the fasting. And I had more energy, and my blood counts didn't drop as much. But it has to be a personal decision because then when I went and did AC, I had 4 rounds of AC. The fasting AC just kicked my ass, and the fasting made it worse. So I had to eat during AC. So it's really a personal decision, but there's research backing the fact that the healthy cells kind of go to sleep and take a rest. Cancer cells don't know how to do that, right? They're like sharks that have to keep swimming to stay alive. And so they actually starve when you fast. So I wish it was that simple. That's a very simplified to say they starve when we fast. But during chemo, it actually makes the cancer cells more active and more targeted because your healthy cells stop, like your hair stops, all the stuff that goes really fast stops. There's people that did not lose their hair and did not have any side effects from fasting. I still had side effects. I was cold capping, still lost my hair, but it was a game changer for real. She talks about during fasting the people that fasted drank fresh veggie juice and psyllium husk, which is Metamucil, every 4 to 6 hours. That would be a detox fast. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that for the chemo fasting. If you're having chemo, you fast 24 hours before, drink lots of water. You can put lemon in your water. If you start to get weak or feel bad during the fasting, it's recommended to have like a spoonful of coconut oil or a little bit of honey. So you don't get too bad. I had no problem with it. It was like the more I fasted, the better I felt. So I started out with 24, and then I did 36 hours before and after. It's got to be your decision though. You know your body best. She talked about drinking filtered water, and there is every single chapter in this book has tons of like the interviews and the survivors and then the research. So food can help you and fasting can help you, which I liked hearing. Hold on. Let me not go out of order. Okay, taking control of your health was the second thing she talked about. She talked about type C personality. There's type A, B, and C. You guys all know type A is the people that never relax. They are focused. They go after things. They're the boss, right? Then there's type C that she talks about in the book. She found that most people that have cancer are type C, where we're the passive people. I'm like this too, even though I'm good at leading and I'm good at organizing things. I also a lot of times don't really have a lot of investment in being the one in charge or being the one that picks where we go, and she considers that of like giving up your power sometimes. I don't know if I agree with that. But she did find a correlation there, so she wanted to talk about it. And it's one of the things that she thinks will help you survive is to take responsibility and control of your health, which I did with my dad. My dad had pancreatic cancer. He was not in a place where he could take control. So I kind of took on that role for him during the stressful times, like during scans or during doctor's visits. So if you are overwhelmed by that stuff and you can't do the research, you can't take control like that, have someone do it for you. I had one of my friends was like, what can I do to help? Like, I can't come over, I can't do that. And I had her be in charge of Googling. So she was my research girl. She would Google everything and then give me the highlights, kind of like what I'm doing with this book. And then Nicole, who just did a video, she actually was the one that gave me the idea to do these books, because she had read that book, The Elephant Book by Janet Larkin-Reno, and had sent me the review of it and what to do. So I really like that. And if you don't have the energy to do that yourself, have someone do it for you and then discuss it together. And that's still you taking control, but you have a helper, right? You have an assistant. And she talks about someone that had kidney cancer, stage 4, mets to lungs, and how he took charge and sent love to his tumors. He fasted. He did breathing exercises, and he didn't take on that fight mentality that a lot of us do. He took on a mentality of, this is part of me that I have to heal, and I'm going to send it love to heal it. He did breathing exercises, which we just talked about last week, and Velma put the video on there for you guys to do the breathing exercises. And he did them daily and no longer has kidney cancer. So that's awesome. So the next thing she talks about is following your intuition, your sixth sense. So we all know there's your third eye, right? There's your sixth sense. We've all had the experience of it, whether it's when somebody kind of gives you the creeps and you get away from them, or you feel funny, you're driving and you feel funny and you decide to slow down or change lanes, and then something happens where if you wouldn't have done that, you would get in an accident, right? We've all had those little things happen in our lives to prove to us that we have the intuition. But I know when you're not feeling well and when you're in shock, it's hard to get that intuition going. And I've talked about that a ton, where like I have to make all these decisions and people are saying to follow my gut, and my gut just feels sick. Like, how do I follow my gut? Well, the book gives some action steps, which I thought were helpful. And she says there's 3 aspects to intuition. One is to check in with yourself before developing a healing plan. So I like to just check in with my higher self. That's what some people call it. You just kind of check in, and does this feel okay for me? And just get that first thing that pops in your head, yes, no, or we need more information, or this doesn't feel right, is what you should follow. It's just hard to get the fear away from that intuition, because chemo is fearful. That's a fearful feeling. But then I knew it was right for me. So it was hard to kind of splice out the fear from the intuition. She recommends also body talk practitioners, or an energy healer, or some type of person that can help you make get in touch with your intuition, which I know Velma can do and Lorraine Cohen can do. So there's no one right way to access your intuition. You can meditate, follow your dreams. There was actually people in here that dreamed about what they should do. Yoga, prayer. Let's see. Everyone has different changes to make, so trust the answers. There's no single way to do this. We're all going to have our own journey, and you're hearing all about mine. There are similarities with everyone, but obviously we all have to make our own decisions and be okay with them. When it comes to intuition, there wasn't a lot of research actually, but gut feeling is real. There wasn't research with cancer stuff, but with gut and psychic feelings, there was. And that has to do, they talked about people as well. If someone is around you and we had a chat about this, if someone close to you is not a healthy part of your life, they want to help you, but you just don't get along, or you just don't have that connection that you should, or you feel bad when you leave them, those are the people not to surround yourself with. And that can be hard if it's your mom or, you know, a spouse or a sibling and they want to help you. Sorry, my nose still runs after all these months. And then there was questions that she thought would be helpful for us to answer and like maybe journal about, to get us in touch with our intuition. What has contributed to my illness, which I'm sure we've all, overthought that one. But really just what she means is just sitting down, getting quiet, asking your body, you know, what has contributed to my illness that I can change, and how can I change it? Those questions. And what does my body, mind, and soul need in order to get well? That was the other question, which I think it's really powerful if you can tune into that and get past the ego and the fear to do that. It's tricky, but I think it's important. It's worth the time. The other thing she talked about was that thoughts and emotions can cause changes in the physical body. Louise Hay is a huge, you know, I've talked about her a million times, about how she actually, parts of your body, wherever the cancer is or wherever the issue is in your body, actually has a meaning behind it. Something that you've ignored and kept going, or a pattern that you haven't released, or inability to receive as much as you give. Those types of things can cause illness. And that's really what this is talking about, finding that way to tap into that and ask your body, well, what do you need me to do to get better? The next thing she talked about was herbs and supplements. And I'm not going to go really far into this because I feel like you need help to get your supplements and your herbs going. But it was a part of a lot of people's recovery, to get rid of the cancer, to get things balanced in their bodies. A lot of the people didn't take supplements because they thought, well, you should get all that from food. But that's not always the case. So I'm going to mention some of the stuff that she talked about. You know, to boost your immune system and to get rid of cancer, you must change the condition under which it thrives, and supplements and herbs can help you do that. My acupuncturist had me on a couple herbs, and I can't pronounce the names of them. And I have a homeopathic doctor. If you're in Tampa, Dr. George Springer is amazing. And Denicia is my acupuncturist. She's actually in this group, and you can message her if you want to ask her questions. They said it's like mold in a basement, and you get rid of it with all the stuff, you know, clean out the basement. But if you leave the conditions the same, the humidity and the darkness and all of that, the mold comes back. And so that was an analogy that she said, that if you use these supplements to help change the environment of your body and get more oxygen in there, less virus, less bacteria, less candida, then you can change the outcome. She mentioned Dr. Wong. He has a line of herbs. I'm not selling anything. I don't know anything about Dr. Wong. I have Dr. Chi stuff. I take the Myomin from his thing. The research behind the supplements is not really there yet, but there is research with green tea. That is good for you. There's something in it that fights cancer. Mushroom supplements like the turkey tail or the reishi. My homeopathic doctor, I had bought a really expensive mushroom supplement, and then I bought one from Walmart, and I brought them both. One was $7, one was $40, and he muscle tested them on me, and he really looked at the ingredients, and he said he thinks they're the same. So I'm going with the $7 one. Vitamin C is something that can help you. I talked to my oncologist about the vitamin C infusions, and he wants me to wait until all of my treatment is done for the vitamin C infusions, because he said he used to do them. He used to prescribe them with clients, even though he's an oncologist and not a holistic doctor. And he wasn't sure if they were helping the cancer cells stay healthy as well. And so it wasn't clear to him, and he quit doing it because he didn't want to do anything that would support the cancer cells. And he thought maybe that would. So I'm going to wait on the vitamin C infusions, but I I do take Emergency, which is those little packets on the days when I don't have a lot of energy, but mine has vitamin C and B12 in it. Turmeric has had a bunch of studies. It definitely fights cancer. You need to get the one with the black pepper in it. And probiotics. There's lots of different probiotics. Get one that works for you. I only take my probiotic a couple times a week, but your gut is going to fight we need to help our guts fight the virus, bacteria, and candida that could be attributing to the environment that the cancer is in. It's definitely true that viruses can cause cancer. We already know H. pylori, what is it, the Giardia? I can't remember the name of the one that causes cervical cancer. And my homeopathic doctor believes that EBV, Epstein-Barr virus, which half the population has in their body, can be a cause for breast cancer. So he found it active in my system, and I took homeopathic drops during treatment to get rid of that. The book mentions vitamin D3. We all need to take a vitamin D3. That's going to be low when you're fighting cancer. B12 and melatonin were mentioned as good supplements to take. So supplements can help you. Your food is more important, obviously. But she did say a lot of people were taking supplements. The next thing she talked about was releasing suppressed emotions. And that's what the TAT's for, right? That's what meditation's for. That's what anything you're doing, like working out, can help that. Anything you're doing to get negative thoughts, fear, stress. We all have stress. I had a lot of stress right before my diagnosis, and I really think it attributed to it. And the research does say that there's 3 types of hormones that are released during chronic stress that really puts your body in an environment that can help cancer grow. So in all of this book, she talks about how we all have cancer in us all the time, and our body continually fights it off. And when we stop taking care of ourselves, or the stress is too much, or there's a virus in us that's then the cancer can be opportunistic and take over that spot. So even your family members that are not fighting cancer, they're just stressed, it's a good idea to work on clearing out those suppressed emotions. Now you notice only 2 of the 9 things that she talks about in this book are physical. The rest of them are all emotional, spiritual. And so I'm glad you guys are here doing the TAT with me. I really do. I really am grateful for this group. It motivates me to take care of myself and to continue talking about resentments and fears and, all of that stuff that I need to release that I just blew off before, because I was really good at detaching and moving on, which helped me be a good counselor, but did not help me be healthy, I guess. So she kind of breaks it down in this book. She talks about fear. She talks about stress. And both of those things lower your immune system. She talks about surrendering and aligning your body, mind, and soul during meditations, during yoga, during workouts, running, walking. There isn't a separate place in this book for exercise. She just pretty much talks about it in every single section, So change your diet and exercise, take control of your health and exercise. She really talks about it in every section. So it could have been its own section because we know from the other books that I reviewed that exercise helps fight cancer. So, and these are the ways it does it, I guess. I can't really do a lot of exercise. I did some push-ups yesterday, and something happened behind this implant that is not fun, but that was dumb. I shouldn't have done a workout that I used to do in my body before. I should have done a gentle workout and walked. She talks about action steps in this section were keep a journal, a thought journal, write down your thoughts and what emotions triggered them. That's actually CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy that you can do with a therapist, where you take these negative thoughts and you kind of let them go and you replace them with positive thoughts. So she's actually telling you to do that yourself with a journal. You can do it with a therapist though, if that's easier, if that's something that feels right to you. She talks about daily forgiveness, stress management, and to see a healer or a therapist for hypnosis, EMDR, TAT. TAT was not mentioned in this book, but it is the same as those processes. She also talks about increasing positive emotions. That's number 6 on her 9 things. So positive emotions, do we all just pretend to be happy and nothing bothers us? No, she wants genuine. The people that use this as part of their healing were people that didn't really connect to their emotions. Like I said, I was a bit detached, dealing with my dad's pancreatic cancer, my daughter's autoimmune, working, getting everything done. You can't be upset and get all that shit done at once. So you kind of push, me personally, I pushed the emotions. I was like, okay, you stay right here. And also it works with counseling. For me, it worked because I could talk to someone about a horrible trauma they went through and just stay, I'm fine talking to you about this. And so I felt like it was working for me, but I guess it was not. So if you could recognize that in yourself, because we're all doers, right? And we detach from emotion because that kind of slows us down. Increasing positive emotions, happiness, joy, and love actually boost your immune system. So if you she says to actually look for comedies to watch, shut the news off, start your day with a smile, monitor what you're seeing and what you're doing during the day. So, too much Fox News or CNN is not good. Comedy over murder mysteries, find your fun friends. Where's your fun friend that isn't upset, all the time, and go hang out with them. And she also talks about exercise, get active with things you love to do. Find the exercise you like to do and do it. And then have a nightly check-in. Did I find joy today? One of the women on here who is a survivor, Beverly, she has a group that is all about joy. And I can post that as well. And the next thing is embracing social support. In all the other books we talked about, Mix of Six, all of that support is one of the things that get you healthy, right? I don't like asking for help. I would prefer to be the one helping. I would prefer to be the one in control of everything I do, right? But when you ask for that support, it actually brings in the love. It brings in the help. Belonging is a human need. Being loved is a need. So when you ask for that support and find those people that are positive to surround you, you live longer, you get better quicker. There's more to being cared for than just the chicken soup they bring you, right? It's more about the love and the feeling of safety and security when there's so many people praying for you and around you. And you guys have seen my team. I wrote out my team, and I think Nicole's working on that on her video, where you actually write down the things that bring you energy and bring you joy, and those people that can support you. Be specific with what you need from them, and don't let I think at first when you tell people, sometimes you feel like you're helping them get through it versus them helping you get through it. And you want to find those people that can handle it, right? But give them little things to do for you. I personally just told people to come by. Like, I'm stuck home. I'm not leaving my house. I don't feel well. I'm bald. I can do work from my computer. I'm not leaving my house. So come by and see me. And I loved it. My friends came by. They didn't necessarily have to bring me anything. When I had chemo, they all wanted to come, which is amazing. And I told them, okay, they only let one person in at a time. So you get the first hour, you get the second hour. And I just told them when to come and what to do. And you bring my husband lunch, you do this. They wanted to do it. It made me feel good. I hope you guys have support too. The action steps for this section is reach out to others. If you're going to exercise, do it in a group, like a yoga class or, something gentle, qigong, something like that. Join a support group, whether it's online or in person. and ask for help or visitors. So those were her action steps for that. There's research in there where they did studies where the more you are hugged or, touched, even if it's your shoulder or whatever, your immune system goes up. So when those people come see you, as long as they don't have a cold, hug them. So the goal is not to feel alone. Loneliness lowers your immune system. So deepening your spiritual connection is the next thing she talked about. And this is not religion, obviously. Spirituality is the experience of a physical and emotional feeling of warmth and happiness through something outside of yourself, right? When I worked with addicts at a rehab center, to get better, we told them, you don't have to believe in God, but you do have to find a power outside yourself to pray to get well, that gives you power. So some people chose like relatives that had passed. We had a lot of Native Americans, so that was their thing. Some people chose God. Some people chose spirit, universe, higher, they called it whatever they wanted. But if you don't have that outside of yourself to bring that warmth and love in, you're missing a chance to get better. I don't think if you're in this group that applies to you, because you wouldn't be here, because we talk about it a lot. Velma prays before every tat. We talk about angels. We talk about God. So I don't think any of you are like that. The ways that they talked about getting that spiritual connection in this book was yoga, running, walking, prayer, meditation, chanting, music, like a music concert where everyone sings together and stuff like that can be a spiritual experience. If anyone's gone to see U2 or one of those bands where it really is, you really do feel connected to others and connected to something outside yourself. And that's the key to that spiritual healing. Not that while you're in treatment, you feel like going to a concert, but okay. So the action steps for this section are deep breathing, walking outside, guided imagery, guided meditation, daily prayer, spiritual groups, and online groups. So we've suggested a bunch of meditations on here. When I first was diagnosed, I listened to the Louise Hay Heal Your Life meditation every single night. I went to sleep to it. And I'm going to post it, but I posted it before. She talks about, for 45 minutes she talks, and then for 45 minutes she does the meditation. So you can fast forward if you just want the meditation, but she's awesome. I did listen to it every night when I first started this journey. The last section, which I haven't read about in any books about cancer, but Viktor Frankl talks about it in his book, Man's Search for Meaning. If you have a strong reason for living, you live longer. Viktor Frankl, I talked about this book because it's one of my favorite books, Man's Search for Meaning. The first half of the book is all about him surviving concentration camp. The second half of the book is his logotherapy, where it's all about hope and your reason for living. And he was in the concentration camp, and he wanted to know why some people survived and some people didn't. And this was his theory that he came up with, that the people that lived were the ones that had more to live for, more hope that they would live and see their loved ones again, or be able to do what they loved again, or have their freedom again. And so that's a pretty powerful message. And it also speaks to when you hear people say, you claim that victory, before you start something, claim it. And before you start your cancer journey or your healing journey or your, this whole thing, you decide at the end, you decide in the beginning how you want it to end. You claim that victory, say, I will be healed. I'm not sure how it's going to happen, but I will be healed. And you need to believe that. We all have strong reasons for living. I like the mission statement because it focuses those reasons. I'm here to heal and help others, and just state it, claim that victory. Reasons for living can be your kids, can be your your spouse, can be make the world a better place. One of my friends is making it his mission to help the environment, and he started a group. He's on here. Hi, Ed. He started a group to get more signatures to clean up the South Florida water down there, and things like that will make you live longer. You have a purpose. You know you need to live long enough to finish this, and this, and do this. Empowerment is really the key to this. It empowers you to feel like you can make it. The action steps for this are a little weird. I'm going to share them. I don't know that I'll do them. I thought this was odd, but it must work because she put it in the book. I'm going to say an action step for this would be to claim your health, and also to write your mission statement, and also to figure out what brings you joy. What are those things that you live for? Because some of us got so, I'm going to talk for me, not for everybody else. I got so caught up in my role as mom, daughter, worker, counselor, that I can't, if you would ask me, what's your favorite whatever, I'd be like, oh, I don't know. I listen to the kids' music, and I listen to my husband's music, and I eat what they like. Don't do that anymore. Find what brings you joy and own it and ask for it and get it. Empowerment is key. So the action steps that she wrote for this section is write down how long you want to live. Write down the number, right? So I'm going to be 107 when I die. Okay. And she also says to write your obituary. And she talked about that a little bit, as how funny that sounds, but your obituary about all the things you've done in your life, and add those things in that you haven't done yet. So really, it's just a mission statement in like a weird, morbid way. Just write a mission statement, unless the obituary thing adds drama and fun to it. Empowerment is really key to this section, I think, in a lot of the sections. She has a website, and people are still contributing to the website and saying how they went into their radical remission. And we cover a lot of the stuff in this book in this group. And the stuff that we don't cover, I'm going to add some links and stuff for you guys to follow. And Lorraine Cohen is a contributor to this group. She is starting a group today at 11:30. She's doing a live 11:30 Eastern time. It's 21 days. Oh no, I can't remember the group. I'm going to post it. I think it was already posted under Jesse's post from yesterday. But she's starting a group to help you connect with your higher power, to really form that basis of spirituality that could help you, and to help you follow your intuition. So that might be helpful. If that speaks to you, join it. I just never want this group to be about promoting anyone's business or anything like that. I just want to put stuff on there that worked for me. I want to put stuff in this group that worked for me and helped me. And my acupuncturist is on here, Denicia, and I think I'm going to have her come on to a live, because the acupuncture has helped me so much. And she actually just gave me little tiny, and I didn't bring them in this room, but little tiny magnets, and where to put them on my hand every day. And when I did that yesterday for the first time, I did feel that energy that you feel when you're getting acupuncture. So I was excited about that, and I want her to talk about that. But I never want you guys to feel like you're being sold anything, because it's not what this group is about. This group is about seriously helping everyone get better, and helping me get better, and helping find love and support through this journey for everyone on here. So I appreciate you guys being on here. I hope this review helped. I'm going to start posting all the things I said I would post underneath the live. And if you have any questions or anything, let me know. Okay. And I'm just going to keep wiping my nose every time I'm on here. Sorry. Hopefully that'll go away soon, because I just want to also say a big thank you to my nose hair for growing back finally. So maybe that'll slow down my my chemo my chemo stuff. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will post all this stuff under, and happy to answer any questions or anything like that. Okay, bye.